Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Spicy Sunflower Tarot. Welcome to your weekly reading and welcome to the month of August and Leo season. We're going to do remove the block for you, Aquarius. Whether you have a block or not, you might still get something from this reading. So Aquarius can be your sun, your moon, your rising. Maybe it's your Venus or your Mars placement. Maybe you're even just checking in on an Aquarius. However it is that you found yourself at this reading, you're welcome to be here. There might be something for you. You never know. I always have a belief that when you're drawn into a video or some information, sometimes it's because you needed to be there. You needed to learn something or hear something or one of those kind of aspects. So Aquarius, let's go ahead and jump in. I have Tarot of the Mystical Moments, and we're going to look at first what it is that you fear. What do you fear? If anything, maybe you're not afraid of anything, but if you have fears, what is it? What does Aquarius fear? Knight of Wands. This is passionate energy. This is playful energy. This is player energy. This is no commitment. Somebody that just comes in for a good time, not a long time. Maybe that's what you're afraid of. Either that you are like that or that somebody else is like that with you. Somebody that just wants to come and have a good time but not stick around. Somebody that just wants to play but not have a commitment. Aquarius, you might be afraid of just being adventurous, maybe letting your hair down and just letting the good times roll kind of energy. Lots of different ways to look at Knight of Wands is Sagittarius energy, fire energy. Just very passionate, very interested in playing and having a good time. Why are you stuck? Why are you stuck? If you feel stuck at all, why? Seven of Cups. Virgo had this. It has to do with a lot of choices, a lot of options. And sometimes we can be overwhelmed with the decisions to make a choice when we've got a lot of options and choices at hand. So the Seven of Cups is an emotional energy. It has to do with there are 7 cups, there are choices, there are options, but we don't know what's in those cups. We don't know if we choose one, what's in there. It could be a snake, could be a rainbow. So we don't know. It's overwhelming, it's overstimulating, there's just too much. 7 of Cups. How do you unblock yourself? How do you unblock yourself? If you feel blocked at all, Aquarius, how do you get unblocked? The Star. This is your energy. I'm just going to say a major arcana attributed to the sign of Aquarius, be yourself. I think that would be completely applicable here. How do you get unstuck? You just be yourself. If you're afraid of this fiery, passionate player kind of energy and you feel stuck because there's so many choices and so many options, how to get unstuck is to just be yourself, is to be the star of the show, shine like a diamond. Don't let anybody put any shade on your bright, shining light. The star is hope. The star is healing. The star is about finding a light where there isn't a light. It's just being that beacon of hope in a storm where the ship doesn't quite know its way. There's the star. They follow that star. This is you showing your true colors, that you are who you say you are. That's how you get yourself unblocked. At the bottom of the deck, it's the 7 of Wands. This is about boundaries. This is about having boundaries that maybe they're too strict, maybe they're too stringent for other people, but you've got them because they protect you. But sometimes, when you put these boundaries down, they keep you in a cage and everybody else out. So it's a fine line to walk about healthy boundaries and walls. Sometimes we think we're erecting a boundary, and when really we're putting up a wall and keeping people out and keeping ourselves blocked in. So just ask yourself, when you are putting up your boundaries, whether those are really walls or if they're seriously healthy, good boundaries. I'm going to use When Women Had Wings, and let's bring those over for some clarification. When Women Had Wings. One more shuffle. Let's clarify the Knight of Wands as far as what does Aquarius fear? What do you fear? Why is the Knight of Wands here for what Aquarius fears? Nine of Pentacles. That is independence. That is self-fulfillment. It is being single. It is entrepreneurialism, doing everything yourself, doing everything on your own. It's very interesting how it contrasts with the Knight of Wands. So what do you fear? Being a player, not having a commitment, just going out and kind of willy-nillying your way through the world. Whereas the Nine of Pentacles, as a clarification, says, because what you really desire is to be a very stay true, worthy, reliable person. You want to be someone that people can count on. You want to be that independent, entrepreneurial. It says, I want to be on my own. I want to handle my own stuff. I don't want to really be reliant on other people. So where the player doesn't really want to rely on anybody either, it's very passionate, romantic kind of, player energy. They just want to come have a little fun and then they want to scoot. But the Nine of Pentacles, I want to do what's right, but I don't want to have any strings that bind me. There's something about feeling like you're bound to someone or something. You don't really want to feel that there's strings attached. There's something to that. That's what you fear. You fear having somebody controlling your puppet strings and controlling you. You're all for being passionate, having fun, taking care of things, people, and places, but you don't want to have those controlling mechanisms over you somehow. There's something to that there. Why are you stuck? The Seven of Cups. Just too many choices, too many options, too many emotional decisions to have to make. Ace of Wands. You would rather just have one passionate choice than 7 emotional choices. There's 7 cups on the table. What you really want is Ace of Wands. I just want one passionate thing to pour my energy into. I don't want 7 emotional cups. I'm an air sign. I think with my mind. I'm a communicator. I think things. But when I've got all these emotional choices, I'm overwhelmed. What I really want is just one passionate thing, one person, one job. I just want one thing to focus on, not 7. Why is the Star in your how to unblock yourself category? Just to be yourself, your true, beautiful, authentic Aquarius self. We have Judgment. Yeah, because the judgment call is yours. The judgment call is it's attributed to the sign of Scorpio. You could have a Scorpio in your life, but how you unblock yourself is to make that judgment call. This is a spiritual awakening. So when you really trust yourself, when you really tune into your pure, divine, authentic self, you have that ability to make that judgment call, and you'll know exactly what to do when the time is right to do it. At the bottom of the deck, it's the Five of Cups. This is very emotional energy again. A little different than the Seven of Cups. The Five of Cups has to do with loss and remorse and regret and looking backwards and crying at the river of tears. When there's 3 cups that we've lost, there's no doubt about that. But there's 2 full cups right behind you, and you're just not paying attention to those. So what the Five of Cups always says to me, it's at the bottom of the deck, it's an underlying energy. It just says, Aquarius, please remember to feel your feelings, feel your sadness and your grief and your loss. Please do that. That's a part of your star energy of healing and having hope. But remember that you have 2 full cups that you need to be grateful for and show gratitude and honor for what you do have. We've all suffered loss, but you've got beautiful energy still in your life. So be grateful. Show honor to that. Let's grab you an oracle card. This is the Priestess of Light oracle cards for the sign of Aquarius. Priestess of Light oracle cards. It says guide. This is the illuminated path for you. Trust that you're being guided. Trust your guides. Trust in the fact that there is a guide and the path is illuminated for you. This is really beautiful, Aquarius. I love that card for you. Guide. Spicy Sunflower Tarot can be found on TikTok and on YouTube. Your likes and your follows, subscribes, and shares are very appreciated. Thank you so much for your comments. Be blessed. Be well. We'll see you next week.